What if I told you the story of one of history's most feared conquerors didn't begin with power, but with betrayal, hunger, and survival? This is not just a story of war. This is the making of a legend. Temujin, the boy who would one day become Genghis Khan. The journey begins in 1172, in the harsh and unforgiving lands of what we now call northwestern China, once known as the Tangut Kingdom. Back then, the land wasn't united. It was broken into countless Mongol tribes, each ruled by its own Khan, each hungry for dominance. There were no laws, no mercy, only strength mattered. And deep within this chaos, a storm was quietly rising. We meet Yeshugai, a tribal leader, traveling across the vast steppes with his young 9-year-old son, Temujin. But this isn't just any journey. It's a mission to find a future bride for the boy, something that could strengthen alliances and power. One night, they stop at a friendly tribe to rest, and while the warriors relax, young Temujin is busy caring for his horse, when suddenly, a confident girl named Borte approaches him. She asks his name, and when she learns he's searching for a wife, she boldly declares that he should marry her. No hesitation, no fear. Temujin is instantly drawn to her spirit. Even though Yeshugai originally wants a bride from a stronger tribe for political gain, he eventually gives in to his son's insistence. But there's a strange condition. Temujin must choose a girl with strong legs, because in their culture, that symbolize strength and loyalty. And without a doubt, he chooses Borte. Their bond is sealed in marriage, but they must wait 5 long years before they can truly be together. Before leaving, Temujin gives her a necklace, a promise that he will return. But fate had other plans. On their journey back, Yeshugai and his men stop near an inn where tension fills the air. Nearby sits a rival tribe leader. Suddenly, a gesture of peace is offered, a bowl of milk. It looks harmless, but one of Yeshugai's men grows suspicious and warns him. Still, Yeshugai chooses trust over fear. He drinks it, and in return, sends a drink back. Moments later, everything changes. As they ride away, Yeshugai suddenly clutches his chest and collapses. The truth hits hard. He's been poisoned. His kindness became his weakness. And just like that, Temujin's world shatters. But what's worse, his father's followers don't even mourn. In their brutal tradition, loyalty dies with weakness. With their leader gone, they abandon his family, more interested in finding a new Khan than seeking justice. At the funeral, Temujin and his mother stand alone. Everything they owned, livestock, homes, gets seized by Yeshugai's right-hand man, Targutai. Fueled by anger and fear, Temujin's mother curses him, declaring that her son will one day take revenge. And that's when Targutai realizes this boy is a future threat, but there's one rule holding him back. Mongol tradition forbids killing a child. So instead, he makes a promise. When winter returns, and the boy grows tall enough, he will come back to finish the job. As winter arrives, danger closes in. With nowhere to run, Temujin remembers his father's words about Tengri, the sky god who protects the worthy. Desperate, he heads toward a sacred mountain, but along the way, he falls into an icy lake, nearly freezing to death. Just when it seems like the end, he's saved by a boy named Jamuka and his younger brother. They take him in, feed him, heal him. Grateful beyond words, Temujin forms a blood bond with Jamuka, mixing their blood and milk and drinking it together, becoming brothers not by birth, but by choice. But peace doesn't last long. The hunters return. Targutai's men find Temujin and drag him back. Since he's still not tall enough to be killed, they imprison him instead, trapped in a wooden collar, treated like an animal, waiting for the day he grows so they can execute him. Days pass in pain and silence, until one stormy night changes everything. As rain pours and guards take shelter, a kind old man secretly frees Temujin. With the heavy wooden collar still around his neck, he runs and runs until he reaches the mountains. There, he prays to Tengri for help, and then, something unbelievable happens. A white wolf appears near the sacred monument, and moments later, the wooden collar breaks apart. It's as if destiny itself has set him free. Time passes, and by 1186, that helpless boy has grown into a man. But his struggle is far from over. Temujin is still being hunted. After a long search, Targutai finally captures him again. This time, there are no traditions protecting him. He's grown tall enough, which means death is inevitable. But Targutai doesn't want a quick kill. He wants to break him, to see him beg, to watch his spirit shatter. Yet Temujin stands tall. Even in chains, even in pain, he refuses to bow. And that defiance is what terrifies his enemies the most. Years pass, but some faces never change, especially the ones who showed kindness in the darkest moments. The same old man who once helped Temujin as a helpless boy is still there, secretly feeding him, keeping him alive even now, when he's nothing more than a prisoner waiting for death. With folded hands, the old man pleads, "When you rise again, remember this mercy." But Temujin says nothing. His silence is heavy, like a storm waiting to explode. And that storm finally breaks one night. Under the cover of darkness, Targutai himself walks in, mocking Temujin, reminding him of his helplessness. But this time, things are different. This time, Temujin isn't a scared child. In a sudden burst of rage, he attacks, grabbing the wooden collar around his neck and smashing it again and again into his enemy. No hesitation, no mercy, until Targutai stops moving. And just like that, the hunted becomes the hunter. Temujin escapes once again, but now he's not running anymore. He's ready to rise, ready to reclaim what was taken from him, ready to become a Khan. But before that, there's a promise he hasn't forgotten. Borte, the girl who chose him before he was anything. After years, he finally reaches her tribe. And there she is, no longer the little girl he once knew, but a strong, confident woman who has been waiting for him all this time. Without doubt, without question. Their bond picks up exactly where it left off. He brings her back with him, along with a dowry, a fine coat symbolizing their union. When they reach his family, the reunion is emotional. After years of suffering, for the first time, there's peace. For a month, they live a life that almost feels like a dream. Love grows between them, stronger each day. But happiness, in Temujin's life, never lasts long. One sudden attack changes everything. The Merkit tribe storms in. This isn't random. It's revenge. Years ago, Temujin's father had kidnapped his mother from them, and now, they've come to return the pain. Before Temujin can react, he's struck by an arrow. Helpless, wounded, he watches as Borte is taken away, stolen to become the wife of another Khan. That moment breaks something inside him. But it also ignites something far more dangerous. Once he recovers, there's only one thing on his mind: getting her back. But this isn't a fight he can win alone. So he turns to the one person he once called brother, Jamuka. The same boy who saved his life years ago, now a powerful Khan himself. Jamuka agrees to help, but not immediately. He asks for time. A year. And that year feels endless. But when the time finally comes, the two brothers ride together once again, leading an army straight into the heart of the Merkit tribe. What follows is pure destruction. They wipe out everything in their path, tearing through enemies without mercy. And finally, inside a hut, they find Borte, alive, pregnant. Beside her lies the dead body of a man she killed to protect herself. There's a moment of silence, a question hanging in the air about the child. But Temujin doesn't hesitate. He accepts her, accepts the child as his own. Because for him, love is stronger than doubt. That night, victory is celebrated. But something bigger begins to take shape. Temujin starts gaining followers. Men who believe in him, not out of fear, but respect. When it's time to divide the loot, he does something no Khan has ever done before. He keeps only a small portion for himself, and gives the rest to his people, even more to the families of those who died. This isn't just leadership, this is loyalty being built, and people notice. Even some of Jamuka's own men leave him, choosing Temujin instead. And that changes everything. Because in the world of Mongols, betrayal isn't forgiven, not even between blood brothers. The tension slowly grows, until one small incident turns it into war. Temujin's men accidentally kill a horse thief, only to discover that the man was Jamuka's younger brother. And just like that, the bond shatters. Jamuka, blinded by rage, forgets everything. The brotherhood, the past, everything. Now, he wants only one thing. Temujin's death. He forms alliances, gathers a massive army, and launches an attack. Temujin knows the truth. They are outnumbered, outmatched. But he doesn't run. Instead, he sends the women and children away, and stands his ground with his men. What follows is a brutal battle. Even though they fight with everything they have, it's not enough. One by one, his men fall, until finally Temujin himself is captured. Even then, Jamuka gives him a chance. Bow down, beg for mercy. But Temujin refuses, because some men would rather die standing than live on their knees. Jamuka sees that fire, and instead of killing him, decides to break him slowly. He turns him into a slave, sells him like an animal. Temujin, along with the few survivors, is forced to march across the endless desert, chained, broken, humiliated. They reach a city under the Tangut dynasty, where they are displayed in the open market, treated like objects, waiting to be bought. And one day, a high-ranking official arrives and chooses Temujin. But not everyone sees him as just a slave. A monk, standing nearby, senses something different, something dangerous. He warns the official, this man is no ordinary captive. He could destroy entire empires. But the warning is ignored. Temujin is bought, locked inside a cage, displayed like a creature for people to laugh at. But even in chains, his presence unsettles people. The monk, however, keeps visiting him every day, asking for forgiveness, as if he already knows what's coming. He makes a quiet deal with Temujin. If he searches for Borte and helps her, then, when the day of reckoning comes, Temujin must spare the monastery. Temujin agrees, and the monk sets out into the desert, searching, hoping. But fate is cruel. Alone, under the scorching sun, his journey ends before it even begins. And just when hope seemed completely lost, fate makes one final move. The monk, lying unconscious in the desert, is found by none other than Borte. At first, he's just another dying man, but then she notices something familiar. The necklace he carries. The same necklace Temujin had once given her years ago. In that instant, everything clicks. Her husband is alive. Without wasting a second, she rushes to the city, driven by nothing but hope. And it doesn't take long. Temujin is not hidden. He's being displayed like a spectacle, locked in a cage for people to laugh at. But for Borte, he's still the man she chose. That very night, risking everything, she bribes a guard and frees him. When Temujin steps out, he doesn't just see his wife. He sees a life he thought he had lost forever. And then he sees his children, his son, now older, and a little girl he's never met before. The truth is clear without words. Borte had to survive, had to make impossible choices to keep herself and her children alive. But instead of anger, Temujin feels something deeper: respect, love, and pride. He accepts the little girl as his own without hesitation, telling her gently that he is her father, because for him, family is not defined by blood alone, but by loyalty and sacrifice. Together, the four of them return to a quiet life in the countryside. For a brief moment, it feels like everything is finally right. The children laugh, play, and bond with their father, and Temujin, for the first time, experiences peace. But peace is not his destiny. One simple sentence from Borte changes everything. She says, almost casually, that all Mongols are the same. They steal, they kill, they destroy. It's a small comment, but it hits Temujin like a thunderbolt, because deep down, he knows she's right. And in that moment, a new vision is born. He realizes this endless cycle of chaos must end. The tribes must be united. Rules must exist. Order must rise from disorder. And if that means shedding blood, then so be it. Leaving his family behind once again, Temujin sets out on a mission far greater than revenge. He wants to reshape the entire Mongol world. His vision is simple but powerful. Never harm women and children. Stand your ground in battle till the very end. And above all, never betray your Khan. These aren't just rules. They are the foundation of a new empire. Years pass, and by 1196, Temujin has done the impossible. Tribe after tribe joins him, not out of fear, but belief. He is no longer just a survivor. He is becoming a leader, a force, a symbol. But one final obstacle stands in his way. Jamuka, the brother he once trusted more than anyone. Now, they stand on opposite sides of a battlefield, each commanding massive armies. This isn't just a war, it's destiny colliding. The battle begins. Jamuka charges in aggressively, relying on instinct and speed. But Temujin has evolved. Every move, every attack is calculated, strategic, patient. As hours pass, the difference becomes clear. Jamuka's forces fall one by one, while Temujin's army grows stronger with every moment. And in the end, victory belongs to Temujin. The battlefield falls silent. The surviving enemies, including Jamuka, are captured. But instead of executing them, Temujin does something unexpected. He offers them a choice: to join him, and they accept, because they see something in him that no other Khan ever had. Fairness, vision, humanity. Even the old man who once saved his life is now by his side, honored as an advisor. And finally, it's time to decide Jamuka's fate. The two brothers sit face to face, reflecting on everything they've been through. Jamuka, still proud, admits that if their roles were reversed, he would have killed Temujin without a second thought. And that right there proves the difference between them, because Temujin chooses mercy. Out of respect, out of memory, he lets Jamuka go, not as an enemy, but as a brother. And with that, the past is finally laid to rest. In the end, Temujin returns to Borte and his children. No more running, no more hiding. Just a man who kept his promise and became something greater than anyone could have imagined. In 1206, he is declared the supreme ruler of all Mongols, given a new name that would echo through history. Genghis Khan, the man who didn't just conquer lands, but united a broken world. He went on to destroy powerful dynasties, build an empire that stretched across continents, yet still honored a promise he once made to a humble monk, sparing his monastery. From a hunted child to the founder of the largest contiguous empire in history, this was not luck, not destiny alone. This was sheer willpower. The rise of a man who refused to bow, refused to break, and changed the world forever. I also hear he had great legs. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.